Understanding narcissism is crucial. Narcissism is a personality disorder. They have a grandiose sense of self-importance. They crave admiration and lack empathy. They need constant attention and validation. Their world revolves around themselves. Narcissists struggle to form genuine connections. Their relationships are transactional. They use people to fulfill their needs. This selfish behavior leads to a trail of broken relationships. Narcissists often appear charming and confident. This is a facade. Deep down, they are insecure and fragile. They fear being exposed as frauds. This fear drives their manipulative behavior, and understanding narcissism helps us recognize and protect ourselves from their destructive patterns. The impulsive nature of narcissism is quite telling. It reveals a lot about the underlying motivations and thought processes of those who exhibit these traits. Narcissists are driven by immediate gratification. They seek pleasure and validation in the present moment, often without a second thought about the future. They rarely consider the consequences of their actions. This lack of foresight can lead them into precarious situations where the risks are high and the outcomes uncertain. Their decisions are impulsive, based on what serves them in the moment. They prioritize their immediate needs and desires over long-term benefits or the well-being of others. This short-term thinking has a devastating impact on their lives. The fallout from their impulsive actions often leads to regret, but by then, the damage is already done. They may jump into relationships quickly, fueled by infatuation and the promise of admiration. The allure of being adored and admired can cloud their judgment, leading to hasty commitments. They may overspend to maintain a lavish lifestyle, seeking validation through material possessions. The need to appear successful and enviable drives them to make extravagant purchases. Their need for instant gratification often leads to risky and irresponsible behavior. They might gamble, engage in dangerous activities, or make reckless financial decisions without considering the potential fallout. This impulsivity stems from their inflated sense of self-importance. They believe they are special and deserving of immediate rewards, which justifies their rash actions in their minds. They believe they are exempt from the rules. This sense of entitlement makes them feel above the law, leading them to break rules and disregard societal norms without remorse. They fail to see the bigger picture or the potential harm they cause. Their narrow focus on self-gratification blinds them to the broader consequences of their actions. Their actions are often reckless and damaging. The collateral damage of their impulsivity can affect not only themselves, but also those around them, creating a ripple effect of harm. This impulsive nature makes it difficult for narcissists to maintain stability. Their lives are often marked by turmoil and unpredictability, as they constantly chase after fleeting desires. They live in a constant state of chaos, driven by their ever-changing desires. This perpetual instability can lead to a life filled with stress, anxiety, and unfulfilled potential. The endless search for supply is a hallmark of narcissistic behavior. Narcissists are constantly on the lookout for sources of admiration and validation. They depend on others to hold up their fragile ego, often turning to social media to get their fix. The likes, comments, and shares serve as a digital applause, feeding their insatiable need for attention. They need a constant supply of admiration and attention. This isn't just a preference, it's a necessity for their self-esteem. This need drives their relationships. They often seek out partners who will provide them with the admiration they crave. They seek partners who will reflect back their idealized image of themselves. These partners become mirrors, showing the narcissist the version of themselves they want to see. They are skilled at charming and manipulating others. Their charisma can be captivating, drawing people in and making them feel special. They create an illusion of perfection to attract new sources of supply. This facade is carefully crafted, to ensure they are always the center of attention. They may shower their targets with gifts and compliments. These gestures are not just acts of kindness, but strategic moves to secure admiration. They may present themselves as successful and desirable. Their achievements are often exaggerated to impress others and maintain their image. This search for supply is never ending. No amount of admiration is ever enough to satisfy their deep-seated need for validation. Once the initial excitement fades, the narcissist becomes bored. The thrill of new admiration wears off quickly, leaving them restless and dissatisfied. They crave the high of new admiration. This constant need for fresh validation drives them to seek out new sources of supply. They start looking for their next conquest. The cycle begins anew as they charm and manipulate new targets. This pattern repeats, leaving a trail of broken hearts in its wake. The people they leave behind are often left feeling used and discarded. Narcissists view people as objects. To them, individuals are merely tools to be used for their own gain. They are interchangeable sources of supply. Once one source is depleted, they move on to the next without hesitation. They have no real emotional attachment to their partners. Their relationships are superficial, based on what the other person can provide. They move on easily, seeking their next fix of validation. The cycle of seeking, charming, and discarding continues, driven by their endless need for supply. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Narcissists lack this crucial ability. They are incapable of putting themselves in someone else's shoes. They are blind to the pain they inflict. This lack of empathy allows them to exploit others without remorse. They use people to fulfill their needs, disregarding the emotional consequences. They are indifferent to the suffering they cause. Their world revolves solely around themselves. They are consumed by their own needs and desires. They are incapable of genuine connection or compassion. This emotional detachment makes them dangerous partners. Their inability to empathize creates a vicious cycle. They hurt others, oblivious to the pain they cause. This lack of awareness perpetuates their destructive behavior. The narcissist's search for supply is relentless. They are always on the lookout for new sources of admiration and validation, constantly scanning their environment for potential targets. They thrive on the attention and adoration of others, and they are never satisfied for long. The need for new sources of admiration is insatiable. But what happens when the new supply fails to meet their unrealistic expectations? The initial excitement fades, and the narcissist begins to see flaws and imperfections. Initially, the narcissist may try to mold the new supply into their ideal image. They believe they can shape and control the new person to fit their needs perfectly. They may criticize and manipulate, attempting to control their behavior. The narcissist's tactics can be subtle or overt, but the goal is always the same: to maintain control and dominance. They may become demanding and entitled, expecting their needs to be met without question. The new supply is expected to cater to their every whim and desire. When these efforts fail, the narcissist's frustration grows. They become increasingly agitated and impatient, unable to tolerate any perceived shortcomings. They may lash out with anger and resentment. The narcissist's rage can be explosive, leaving the new supply feeling confused and hurt. They may devalue and discard the new supply, blaming them for their own unhappiness. The once idealized person is now seen as worthless and disposable. They quickly move on, seeking a fresh source of validation. The cycle begins anew, with the narcissist always in search of the next perfect supply. This cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard is a hallmark of narcissistic relationships. It creates a roller coaster of emotions for those involved. It leaves a trail of emotional devastation in its wake. The discarded supply is left to pick up the pieces, often feeling broken and betrayed. If this video helped you, please comment, like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.